So, in this third theoretical lecture, we will just very quickly see how the JavaScript code that we write is actually executed. So, JavaScript is always hosted in some environment, and that is most typically a browser, such as Google Chrome, Firefox, Safari, etc. And this is where JavaScript runs. There can also be other hosts, such as the Node.js web server, or even some applications that accept JavaScript code input. We will, however, always just focus on the browser in this course, which is exactly what we have been doing so far. So when we write our JavaScript code and actually want to run it, there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. So what happens is that the host where JavaScript is hosted has some kind of JavaScript engine that takes our code and executes it. So in very simple terms, a JavaScript engine is a program that executes JavaScript code. There are many different engines out there, like Google's V8 engine that is used in Google Chrome, but there are others like Rhino, SpiderMonkey, JavaScript Core, and many more. Now, the first thing that happens inside the engine is that our code is parsed by a parser, which basically reads our code line by line and checks if the syntax of the code that we gave it is correct. So this means that the parser knows the JavaScript rules and how it has to be written in order to be correct, to be valid. And if we make some mistakes, it basically throws an error and stops the execution. If everything is correct though, then the parser produces a data structure known as the abstract syntax tree, which is then translated into machine code. So this code is no longer JavaScript code, but a code, or let's say a set of instructions, that can be executed directly by the computer's processor. And it's only when our code, already converted to machine code, actually runs and does its work. So it's not really important that you really memorize all of this. I just want you to get the basic idea of what actually happens once we choose to run our code. And there's actually way more going on behind the scenes, and different engines do things in a slightly different way. But this is absolutely enough for us to understand at this point. So let's now move on to the next lecture.